The baby's cry cuts through the mansion's silence like a siren. For 3 hours this sound hasn't stopped, echoing through the marble hallways and climbing the mahogany stairs. Lauren Hayes wipes the same spot on the floor for the 4th time. She's 24 years old, hands calloused from so much work, and a tightness in her chest that grows every minute. That crying is stirring something very deep inside her. "This boy is going to hurt himself from crying so much," she murmurs, trying to focus on cleaning. In the upstairs bedroom, Mason is in the crib. He's a 2-month-old baby with a face red and swollen from crying so much. His lips are cracked and he makes weak movements with his little mouth, searching for something he can't find. The bottle next to the crib has a sour smell. It's spoiled in the afternoon heat. Christina Silva, the 28-year-old nanny hired through an expensive agency, disappeared at 6 o'clock. She said she was going to the pharmacy to buy special formula, but actually went to the mall to meet friends. For her, this job is just a way to earn good money without much effort. Downstairs, Vincent Moretti is locked in his office. At 32 years old, he has dark circles he can't hide even with the world's best coffee. The video conference with the Japanese investors has already lasted 2 hours and he pretends he doesn't hear his son crying. "Mr. Moretti, do you confirm the investment?" asks a voice from the computer. "Of course, you can count on us." Vincent responds automatically, looking at the photo of Elena on the desk. Mason's cry gets weaker, more dangerous. Lauren can't take it anymore. She drops the cloth and runs upstairs with her heart racing. "Please let nothing have happened," she whispers on the stairs. When she opens the bedroom door, she gets a shock. Mason is almost without strength in the crib, his skin too hot, his little eyes half closed. He makes little movements with his mouth as if looking for food. Oh my God in heaven. Lauren runs and picks up the baby. He's hot, sweaty, clearly dehydrated. "Calm down, little one. Auntie's here." She smells the bottle and makes a disgusted face. Completely sour. Mason continues making sucking movements in her arms, desperate for food. It's at that moment that something inside Lauren explodes. She lost her own baby 6 weeks ago and still produces milk. Seeing Mason like this, going through what her son went through in his last moments, is unbearable. Without thinking, without calculating, she sits in the armchair and offers her breast to the starving baby. Mason stops crying immediately. He nurses with the strength of someone who was starving and finally found salvation. "There, that's better," Lauren whispers, feeling a peace she hadn't felt in weeks. Downstairs, Vincent finally manages to end the meeting. "Folks, we'll close this tomorrow, okay?" He hangs up and for the first time notices the silence. The crying stopped. Worried, he goes upstairs to see how Mason is. He opens the door slowly and freezes. Lauren is in the armchair by the window, breastfeeding Mason as if it were the most natural thing in the world. The afternoon light enters softly through the curtain, and the two seem completely at peace. Vincent stands there, unable to process what he sees. What the hell is happening here? Lauren almost jumps from the armchair. She covers her chest quickly and holds Mason carefully, eyes wide. "Sir, I'm sorry, I can explain." Vincent takes a few steps forward, confused and irritated. "Explain what? Have you lost your mind?" "Sir, he was getting sick." Lauren speaks quickly, the words stumbling over each other. "He's been crying for hours. The nanny disappeared. The bottle was rotten. But that doesn't give you the right to—" Vincent stops mid-sentence. He looks at his son and sees something he hasn't seen in weeks. Mason is sleeping peacefully, breathing calmly, with an expression of peace on his little face. Vincent has never seen his son like this. Since he was born, Mason has always been restless, whiny, difficult to calm. And now he's there, sleeping like an angel. How is he so quiet? Lauren wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. "He was starving, sir. The bottle was stinking, all curdled. There was nothing else to give him." Vincent approaches slowly, observing his son. It's the first time Mason seems truly rested since he was born. "But you, where do you have—" He can't finish the question. The silence becomes heavy. Lauren lowers her head, her voice almost disappearing. "I lost my son 6 weeks ago." Vincent feels like he's been punched in the stomach. He knows this pain. It's the same he feels every day since Elena died. "I still have milk, but I don't have a baby anymore." Lauren continues, tears streaming down. "When I saw Mason suffering like this, I couldn't just leave him." Vincent looks at Mason sleeping in her arms. The baby seems to have found something that even he couldn't give his own son. The anger he felt mixes with a strange gratitude. She saved Mason, but at the same time the situation is complicated. "Go home, Lauren," he says tiredly. "Tomorrow we'll talk about this properly." Lauren hands Mason to him with great care, as if passing something very precious. "Just don't let him go too long without eating again, okay?" She leaves the room half trembling, knowing she did something that will cause trouble. But when she looks back and sees Vincent holding his son who's finally sleeping peacefully, she doesn't regret it. Vincent stays alone in the room, looking at Mason sleeping in his arms. For a few minutes, the pain of having lost Elena diminishes a little. And now, what am I going to do? 10 p.m. Christina finally appears at the mansion carrying expensive store bags. The story about the special formula was a lie from the beginning. She spent the day spending her salary on clothes and then went to the movies with her boyfriend. For Christina, taking care of Mason is just a job that pays well. She doesn't feel affection for the baby. She only sees him as a way to live in a rich house without much effort. She finds Vincent in the office working on the computer. Mason is sleeping in the crib, something she hasn't seen in a long time. Wow, what a miracle. He stopped crying. Vincent looks up, still processing what happened in the afternoon. Lauren took care of him today. "Oh, that's good," Christina responds, but something in Vincent's tone puts her on alert. During the early morning, Mason wakes up only once, accepts the bottle without drama, and goes back to sleep quickly. For Christina, who was used to nights of terror, this is almost a miracle. The next morning, while Vincent is taking a shower, she goes to the kitchen to probe Mrs. Davis. "Davis, did Lauren do something different yesterday?" Mrs. Davis, who is 55 years old and has a heart as big as the world, doesn't suspect anything. Poor thing. She was very upset yesterday, spent a long time up there in the baby's room. Upset why? Oh girl, the poor thing lost her baby not long ago and her husband still left her because of it. Christina feels a pang of jealousy. If Vincent is liking Lauren, she could lose the best-paying job she's ever had. Her husband left her, said she was weak, that she didn't know how to take care of the pregnancy properly. How cruel, right? The girl was already suffering. The wheels in Christina's mind start turning. She sees a chance to get rid of the competition. "Davis, can I tell you something, but don't tell anyone, okay?" "Of course, dear." Christina approaches, making a worried face. "Yesterday I saw Lauren doing something kind of strange." "What thing?" "She was breastfeeding Mason." "Mrs. Davis's eyes widen. "What do you mean?" "From her own breast." "I saw it. But does she still have milk?" "She does. And she's acting like she's his mother. Yesterday she spent hours just watching him sleep. Mrs. Davis doesn't know what to think. Maybe she just wanted to help." "Davis, a woman who loses a child gets kind of, you know how it is, right? Can become obsessive." Christina plants the first seed and runs off to spread the gossip. She picks up the phone and calls Margaret Whitmore, the biggest gossip in the neighborhood. "Margaret, I need to tell you something about Vincent." "Hi, dear. What is it?" "That employee of his, I think she's trying to take advantage of the situation." "What do you mean?" "She lost a baby and now she's obsessed with Mason. Yesterday I caught her breastfeeding him." Margaret almost drops the phone. "I don't believe it." "Is it serious?" "I think she's trying to seduce Vincent to get his family. How shameless poor Vincent hasn't suffered enough losing Elena. That's what I think. Someone has to warn him before this becomes a situation. Leave it to me. I'll talk to the girls. This opportunist won't succeed." When Vincent comes down for breakfast, he finds Mason smiling. It's the first time he's seen his son like this, kicking his little legs and making happy sounds when Lauren passes in the hallway. Vincent is moved. He really likes her. But soon the phone will start ringing and then Lauren's life will become hell. Vincent observes Mason in the breakfast high chair. The baby is completely different, smiling, moving his hands, making happy sounds every time Lauren appears. "Good morning, sir." She greets somewhat awkwardly. "Good morning. Mason seems well today." "Yes, he slept all night. He just needed a good feeding." Vincent sees how his son reacts to Lauren's voice and is touched. It's the first time Mason shows genuine joy. Then the phone rings. 11 a.m. "Hello, Vincent dear, how are you?" It's the honeyed voice of Margaret Whitmore. "I'm fine, Margaret." "What is it?" "Look, we're worried about you." People have been talking about some things. Vincent feels his chest tighten. What things? About an employee who's, how can I say this, interfering too much. Margaret, what are you talking about? Vincent, a woman who loses a child becomes very shaken, can develop an obsession with other children. Vincent looks at Lauren in the hallway and feels a pang of doubt. Obsession? Elena must be suffering in heaven, seeing this happen in her house. Vincent hangs up irritated, but the seed has already been planted. An hour later, the phone rings again. Mrs. Parker, Elena's mother-in-law. Vincent, son, you need to take care of yourself. Mrs. Parker, are you okay? I am, but you're the one who worries me. I heard there's an employee causing confusion there. Confusion. Vincent, you're very vulnerable. It's easy for an opportunist to take advantage of the situation. Where did you hear that from? Everyone's talking, son. You need to act before it becomes a scandal. Third call. 4 p.m. Teresa, Elena's best friend. Vincent, this can't continue. What can't continue? This situation with the employee. Elena would be horrified. Vincent starts to feel pressured. He watches Lauren playing with Mason, who's clearly happier, but he's so good with her. At that moment, Christina appears beside him. Sir, Lauren asked to stay longer today. Why? She said Mason needs her to sleep well. Christina makes a calculated pause. I thought it was kind of strange. Strange how? She's not his mother, right? But sometimes she acts like she is. Vincent is torn. On one hand, he sees that Mason has never been better. On the other, everyone's saying he's being deceived. He remembers how he found Elena. He trusted everyone, never suspected anything, and even so she died from medical negligence at the hospital. Am I being naive again? The phone rings one more time. Vincent looks at the number and recognizes Margaret. This time he answers. Vincent, have you thought about what we discussed? Margaret, Son, you can't let this continue for Mason's sake. Vincent looks at Lauren, who's humming softly while arranging the baby's things. Mason smiles every time he hears her voice, but the pressure is becoming unbearable. Okay, Margaret, I'll resolve this. When he hangs up, Vincent knows what he has to do, even if it hurts, even if Mason stops smiling. Tomorrow morning he's going to have to fire Lauren. Vincent didn't sleep a wink all night. The neighbor's words kept echoing in his head like a scratched record. Early in the morning, the phone had already rung 3 times. Vincent, have you decided what you're going to do? Margaret spoke with that tone of someone who already knows the answer. Son, don't let this become a scandal, Mrs. Parker advised. For Elena's memory, you need to act, Teresa concluded. When Vincent comes down for breakfast, his heart almost stops. Lauren is sitting on the living room floor playing peekaboo with Mason. The baby is laughing, a sound Vincent hadn't heard in a long time. Found you? Lauren tickles Mason's belly, who gives little shrieks of joy. Vincent stands watching from the door. His son has never seemed so happy, never laughed like this, never had this expression of pure joy. Good morning, sir, Lauren greets, picking up Mason. Good morning, Vincent responds, but his voice comes out strange. He spends the entire breakfast watching the two. Mason won't let go of Lauren. Every time she moves away, he fusses. When she comes back, he smiles and stretches his little arms. This boy is glued to you, Vincent comments, trying to sound casual. Yeah, he's a little clingy one, Lauren responds, kissing Mason's forehead. Vincent feels a pang in his chest. He's never been able to make his son smile like that. But then the phone rings again and again and again. Each call makes Vincent more tense, more confused. The people he respects, who do business with him, who knew Elena, all saying the same thing. When noon arrives, Vincent makes a decision that will hurt him too. Lauren, I need to talk to you in the office. His tone changes completely. Cold, distant, formal. Lauren notices right away that something is wrong. In the office, Vincent stays behind the desk as if it were a barrier between them. Lauren sits on the edge of the chair, heart already racing. Sir, did I do something wrong? Vincent can't look directly at her. Lauren, about yesterday, what happened with Mason? If I was wrong, forgive me. I just wanted to help. It's not about being right or wrong. Vincent stops, runs his hand through his hair. People are talking. Talking about what? Vincent takes a deep breath. Each word that comes out of his mouth is like swallowing glass. That you're taking advantage of my situation, that you lost your child, and now you're trying to keep mine. Lauren's face loses all color. Sir, that's not true. I would never. You breastfed him, Lauren, without asking, without thinking about what people would say. But he was getting sick. There was no one else. Vincent stands up, pacing around the room. He's fighting with himself, but the pressure is too great. People think you're trying to seduce me, that you want to steal my family. That's a lie. You know it's a lie. I know. Vincent stops and looks at her. You lost your baby 6 weeks ago. Suddenly you show up here acting like Mason's mother. I work here, I do my job. And you spend hours watching him sleep. You sing to him, play with him like he's your son. Lauren stands up desperately. Because he likes me, because he's happy when I'm around. That's the problem, Lauren. He's getting too attached to you. That's bad. Vincent stops walking. The truth is no. It's not bad. But he can't say that. You're fired. The silence that follows is so heavy it seems to suck the air from the room. Sir, please don't do this. It's already decided. And don't count on my reference. Sir, I'm begging you. I have nowhere to go. Vincent turns his back to her. He can't look at the desperation in Lauren's eyes. Get your things and leave. At least let me say goodbye to Mason. It's better if you just go. Lauren leaves the office stumbling. Mrs. Davis sees her in the kitchen crying and gathering her few things. Girl, what happened? He fired me, Mrs. Davis said. I'm taking advantage of the situation. That's absurd. You saved that baby. It doesn't matter anymore. I have to go. Outside it started to rain. A heavy rain, the kind that soaks you in seconds. Lauren looks out the window and sees the storm but has no choice. Vincent watches her from the office window. She walks out slowly in the rain, with a plastic bag in her hand and her clothes sticking to her wet body. For a moment, Vincent almost runs after her. The image of Lauren alone in the rain is cutting his heart, but then the phone rings. Vincent, I heard you did the right thing. It was best for Mason, says Margaret. Vincent hangs up and sees Lauren turning the corner, disappearing in the rain. Upstairs, Mason started to cry. The first door Lauren knocks on is the house next to Vincent's mansion. The maid doesn't even let her finish talking. We don't have any openings here. At the second house, the owner at least listens. I have experience with cleaning, cooking, taking care of children. Do you have a reference? I do, from my last job. The woman calls in front of Lauren. Hello, Mr. Moretti. It's about a certain Lauren who worked there. Vincent looks at the ringing phone and doesn't answer. Sorry, dear. He didn't answer. Without a reference, I can't risk it. At the third, fourth, fifth house, the story repeats. Always the same question. Do you have a reference from your last employer? At the end of the first day, Lauren still has hope. On the second day, desperation began. On the third day, the money ran out. Mrs. Martinez, give me 1 more week. I can pay. The landlady shakes her head. Lauren, you already owe 2 months. The property owner is demanding payment. Just a few more days, please. I can't, dear. It's business, you understand? Lauren leaves the little room carrying a supermarket bag. Everything she possesses in the world fits in a bag. The first night on the street is a terror she never imagined. She slept on a park bench, using newspaper as a blanket. The cold cut to the bone, and she didn't sleep a wink out of fear. On the second night, 3 men approached her when she tried to sleep under an awning. Hey there, cutie. You alone? Want some company? We can help you. Lauren ran away and hid behind a church until sunrise. It was on the third night that she met old Joe, a 60-year-old man with white hair who's lived on the street for 10 years. First time here, huh? How do you know? Experience. You still look like someone from a home. Old Joe points to an overpass. Come on, stay with us, it's safer. Under the overpass, there's a group of 5 people, each with their cardboard, their few things, their sad story. Folks, this is Lauren. She needs some help. Welcome to the group, says Mrs. Rosa, a lady who lost her house when her son got addicted and sold everything. Old Joe teaches Lauren the rules of survival. Where to get food, where security guards don't bother you, how to protect yourself. The important thing is not to lose your dignity, daughter. We're on the street, but we're still people. But as the days pass, Lauren changes. Her clothes get dirty, torn, her hair tangled. She loses weight quickly, because getting food is a daily struggle. The worst is that her body still produces milk. Every morning she wakes up with her chest painful, swollen, reminding her that she has food for a baby who's no longer with her. Mason, I wonder if he's okay. I wonder if he's eating properly. During the day, while collecting cans to sell, Lauren keeps thinking about the baby. If he still smiles, if he plays, if he looks for her. My little one, Mommy hasn't forgotten you. After 2 weeks on the street, when Lauren looks at herself in a store window, she doesn't recognize the person she sees in the reflection. Thin, dirty, with deep, dark circles. Some days she talks to herself, remembering the games with Mason. The dignity that old Joe talked about is getting harder and harder to maintain. The mansion has become a battlefield. Mason went back to crying nonstop from the moment Lauren left the house. On the first night without her, Vincent didn't sleep a single minute. Mason cried almost all night, only stopping at dawn from pure exhaustion. "What's wrong, son?" "Daddy's here." Vincent tried to calm him, but Mason rejected his arms. The baby refuses the bottle, doesn't accept toys, is agitated all the time. When he finally falls asleep, he wakes up minutes later, crying. Christina pretends she's trying to help. "Must be a phase, sir. Babies have these." But Vincent sees she's not the least bit worried. Actually, she even seems relieved. After 3 days without sleeping properly, Vincent hires an emergency nanny. Sonia arrives all confident. "Leave it to me, Mr. Moretti. 20 years taking care of babies." 2 hours later, she's exhausted. My God, I've never seen a child so agitated. Mason rejects being held, rejects the bottle, rejects everything she offers. He cries with an intensity that hurts the ears. Vincent hires the second nanny. Carla, specialist in newborns, tries a different approach. "Mr. Moretti, this child is going through some kind of trauma." Trauma? Babies create very strong emotional bonds. When they lose these bonds, they suffer. But what bond? His mother died in childbirth. Some specific person who took care of him. Someone he saw every day. Vincent almost mentions Lauren, but swallows the words. No one special. The third nanny is Marcia, the most expensive and experienced in the city. "Sir, in 25 years of profession, I've never seen a case like this." Mason is visibly losing weight. He barely nurses, sleeps little, is constantly irritated. Vincent is desperate. The pediatrician, Dr. Reynolds, examines Mason and is worried. "Mr. Moretti, physically he's fine, but there's something disturbing this child very much. Doctor, he won't stop crying. Babies express emotional trauma this way. He's rejecting care, rejecting new bonds. What can I do? Has there been any drastic change in his routine recently?" Vincent hesitates. "Well, we changed nannies." "Just that? And we fired an employee who sometimes helped with him." Dr. Reynolds writes down, "Did this employee have a lot of contact with the child?" "She did. A little." "Mr. Moretti, babies are very sensitive. If this person created a strong bond with your son..." Vincent doesn't let the doctor finish. "Doctor, what matters is him getting better." But inside, a terrible doubt is growing. The nights have become a nightmare. Vincent walks around the house like a zombie, trying to calm Mason, who cries nonstop. Mrs. Davis tries to help, but Vincent doesn't want to listen. "Mr. Moretti, since Lauren left, I don't want to know." "But sir..." The boy changed completely. "Davis, don't get involved in this." After another week of hell, Dr. Reynolds is direct. "Mr. Moretti, I'm going to have to hospitalize the child." "Hospitalize?" "He's dehydrating, losing weight dangerously. He needs hospital care." Vincent looks at Mason, thin and worn out in his arms, and feels a fear he hasn't felt since Elena died. "Doctor, can he die?" "We'll do everything possible, but children can waste away for emotional reasons too." When Vincent arrives home after admitting Mason, the mansion is strangely silent. For the first time in weeks, there's no baby crying echoing through the hallways. And it's in this silence that he finally admits to himself he may have made the biggest mistake of his life. Vincent can barely work with Mason hospitalized. He goes to the hospital 3 times a day, but Mason remains apathetic, refusing the bottle, losing weight. "Mr. Moretti, the child needs a strong emotional stimulus," says Dr. Reynolds. "Something that awakens his interest in life." Vincent leaves the hospital straight home, trying to think of some solution. That's when he sees a neighbor on the sidewalk waiting for him. "Vincent, good to find you. It's Mrs. Miller who lives 3 houses down." A lady Vincent has always respected. "Hi, Mrs. Miller." "Vincent, I need to tell you something. It's about that girl who worked at your house." Vincent tenses up. "Lauren." "That's right. Look, I saw her yesterday in downtown." "You saw her where?" "Near the bus terminal. She was, how can I say this? Begging for money." Vincent feels the world spin. Begging for money? She was very thin, dirty. I almost didn't recognize her. How sad, right? Vincent enters the house dazed. Lauren, who saved Mason, is on the street begging because of him. It's in this confused state of mind that he goes upstairs to get some things from Mason's room. That's when he hears voices in the back garden. This one's expensive, imported, worth about $100. Vincent approaches the window and sees a scene that leaves him in total shock. Christina is selling Mason's medicine to a strange man. He runs down the stairs and goes straight to the garden. "Christina, what the hell are you doing?" She almost drops the medicine box. "Oh, sir, what a fright. You're selling Mason's medicine?" The buyer, not knowing Vincent is the father, confirms. "She always sells expensive baby medicine here. I resell it at a pharmacy." Vincent explodes with rage. "How long have you been doing this?" "Sir, I can explain." Christina panics. "It's because my mother is sick." "Christina, where were you when Mason was crying alone?" "I was taking care of him." "Lie. You would disappear and leave him alone." Pressured, Christina tries to throw the blame elsewhere. "Sir, if that cleaning lady hadn't interfered..." "Interfered how?" Christina realizes she said too much, but Vincent won't let it pass. "Talk, Christina. Interfered how?" She speaks up. "I made up that she was taking advantage." "Christina..." She breaks down. "I lied about her." Vincent is silent for a long moment. "You lied?" "I got jealous. She took better care of Mason than I did." "Christina..." Vincent approaches, his voice dangerously low. "Did Lauren do anything wrong to Mason?" "No. She saved him that day. He was very bad with a high fever. He could have died, If she hadn't helped, he would have died." Vincent feels like he's been punched in the stomach. "And you made up that she was taking advantage?" "I was afraid of losing my job. She was a better nanny than me." "Get out of my house, sir. Get out of my house now." Vincent is alone in the garden after expelling Christina. The truth about her lie is weighing on his chest like a giant stone. She lost her own son and still saved mine, he thinks, looking at his own hands. "And I threw her on the street like she was trash." He goes inside and calls Mrs. Davis. "Davis, do you know where Lauren might be?" "Mr. Moretti, I tried all the contacts she had. No one knows anything." "And family?" "She doesn't have anyone, sir. Her parents died. She has no siblings. The ex-husband, that bastard, he's the one who threw her on the street." Vincent hangs up and feels the weight of the situation. Lauren is lost in the city with no one to help. At the hospital, Dr. Reynolds is increasingly worried about Mason. "Mr. Moretti, the child isn't responding to any treatment. Physically, there's nothing wrong, but he's wasting away. Doctor, is there anything specific that can help?" "Mr. Moretti, I'll be direct. Children can die of sadness. He needs something that awakens the will to live." Vincent knows exactly what that something is. He's always known. "Doctor, if I bring a specific person, if it's someone the child has a strong bond with, it can help, yes." Vincent leaves the hospital with a mission. Find Lauren before it's too late. But where to start in a city of 12 million people? He decides to start with the obvious places. Goes back to her old address. The building is being demolished. "Man, the girl who lived here disappeared about 3 weeks ago," says the doorman. "Left with a plastic bag and never came back." Vincent goes to employment agencies, public hospitals, police stations. Nothing. On the second day, he expands the search. Shelters, nursing homes, churches that distribute soup. A young woman, brown hair, recently lost her job. "Man, so many people pass through here." Responds a volunteer. "Do you have a photo of her?" Vincent realizes he doesn't have any photo of Lauren. She worked at his house for months and he never took a photo. On the third day, desperate, Vincent does something he never imagined. He goes to places where homeless people live. "Please, do you know a girl named Lauren?" The reaction is always the same. Distrust. Who wants to know? Are you a cop? Is she running away from home? Vincent realizes he needs to change his approach. On the fourth day, he's exhausted. Slept poorly 3 nights in a row. Ate little, has a scruffy beard. That's when he receives an unexpected call. Vincent, it's Sylvia from the building on the corner. Hi, Sylvia. Weren't you looking for a former employee? A young woman? Vincent feels his heart race. I was. Did you see her? There was a girl here yesterday knocking on doors, thin, kind of dirty, asking for work. Where? What time? Around 2. But Vincent, she had a very bad look. Bad how? Looking sick and kind of, I don't know, confused. Vincent writes down the address and runs out. When he arrives at Sylvia's building, he walks around the area for 2 hours. Nothing. Immense frustration takes over him. He's looking for a needle in a haystack. At the hospital, Mason gets worse every day. Dr. Reynolds is direct. Mr. Moretti, if there's no improvement in the next 48 hours, we'll have to take drastic measures. What measures? Forced feeding, ICU admission. It's the last chance. Vincent leaves the hospital knowing time is running out. A week has passed since Vincent started looking for Lauren. He even hired a private detective. Mr. Moretti, looking for a homeless person is very difficult, explains the detective. They move around a lot, change places constantly. But is there anything we can do? I'll spread her photo in shelters, health clinics, churches. If anyone sees her, they'll call me. Vincent gave an old photo of Lauren he found in the mansion's camera system. Meanwhile, Mason wastes away in the hospital. In a week, he lost more weight and barely reacts to stimuli. Vincent divides his time between hospital visits and searching the streets. He's becoming a ghost. Thin, with dark circles, obsessed with the search. Mrs. Davis calls him worried. Mr. Moretti, you need to eat something, rest. I can't stop, Davis. Mason is dying. Sir, what if Lauren doesn't want to come back after everything she went through? Vincent stops to think about this for the first time. What if Lauren hates him? What if she doesn't want to know about Mason anymore? She will, he responds, trying to convince himself. She loves that boy. On the 8th day of searching, Vincent receives a call from the detective. Mr. Moretti, I have information. A social worker downtown recognized the photo. Where did she see her? At a health clinic in the central area, a young woman with symptoms of severe flu. When? 3 days ago. But sir, the description didn't match totally. The girl was very different from the photo. Vincent runs to the health clinic. Doctor, did you see a girl named Lauren in the last few days? The doctor checks the records. We had a patient without documents, symptoms of initial pneumonia. How was she? Very debilitated, severe malnutrition. We managed to give antibiotics and guidance, but she left. Where to? We don't know. She said she had nowhere to stay. Vincent leaves the clinic with a concrete lead, but also with more concern. Lauren is sick. He spends the next 2 days going through the central area, asking at pharmacies, bakeries, any place where she might have passed. On the 10th day, when Vincent is already losing hope, he receives a call that changes everything. Hello? Are you the Vincent who's looking for Lauren? I am. Who's speaking? Joe, from the street folks. I heard you were looking for her. Vincent feels his heart race. Do you know where she is? Maybe. But first I want to know why you're looking for her. Because I made the biggest mistake of my life and need to fix it. What mistake? Vincent takes a deep breath. I believed a lie and threw her on the street. Now the baby she saved is dying in the hospital. Silence on the other end of the line. Joe, are you there? I am, man. You really did something ugly. I know, that's why I need to find her. She's bad. Very bad. Where? East Side Overpass. But if you hurt her again, I won't. I promise. Vincent writes down the address and runs out. At the East Side Overpass, Vincent finds a group of people living under the concrete structure. Tarp tents, old mattresses, a makeshift little fire. Joe, a white-haired man, approaches. You're Vincent? I am. Where is she? Joe points to a tent in the corner. Over there. But she's had a high fever for 2 days. Vincent approaches the tent and finds Lauren lying on an old mattress, covered with dirty blankets. She's unrecognizable. Her hair is tangled, her face burning with fever, and she's lost so much weight she looks like a different person. Lauren. She opens her eyes slowly, unfocused. Takes a while to recognize Vincent. Vincent, you're here? Her voice is a hoarse whisper. I came to get you. Mason needs you. Mason. Her eyes fill with tears. How is he? Bad, very bad. He's been hospitalized for 2 weeks. Lauren tries to sit up but has no strength. Is he sick? He is. The doctors say it's depression. He doesn't eat, doesn't sleep, only cries. Why? Why are you telling me this? Vincent kneels beside the mattress. Because I found out Christina lied about everything. Lied? She made up that you were taking advantage of the situation because she was jealous. Lauren closes her eyes. And you believed her? I believed her and almost killed my son because of it. Vincent. Lauren tries to speak but starts coughing violently. Joe approaches. Man, she has pneumonia. She needs to go to the hospital. Lauren, let's go to the hospital. You and Mason need to get treatment. No. Lauren shakes her head weakly. I can't. I can't go through this again. Please, Mason could die if you don't help. And you're going to throw me on the street again when society complains? Vincent looks into her eyes. Never again, I promise. Promises. Lauren coughs again. You already promised before. Lauren, if you don't come with me, you could die here, and Mason could die in the hospital. Joe intervenes. Girl, you need treatment. You can't stay like this. Lauren is too weak to resist. Okay, but only for Mason. Vincent carries her to the car carefully. In the back seat, Lauren whispers, Vincent, I'm not coming back for you, just for the boy, I know. And that's all that matters. On the way to the hospital, Vincent calls Dr. Reynolds. Doctor, I'm arriving there with the person who can help Mason, but she's sick. Bring her straight to the emergency room. At the hospital, a medical team examines Lauren immediately. Bacterial pneumonia, severe malnutrition, dehydration, Dr. Reynolds' diagnoses. We're going to admit her for treatment. Doctor, can she see Mason? Only after we control the infection. We can't expose the child. Lauren stays 3 days admitted taking antibiotics and IV fluids. Vincent spends time between her room and Mason's. On the 3rd day, when Lauren's fever goes down, Dr. Reynolds authorizes the meeting. But only 15 minutes, they're both still weak. Vincent takes Lauren to Mason's room in a wheelchair. When she sees the thin and pale baby in the hospital bed, she cries. My God, what happened to him? Mason is sleeping, but when he hears Lauren's voice, he slowly opens his little eyes. For a moment, he's confused, then recognizes her. For the first time in weeks, Mason gives a weak smile. Hi, my love, Lauren whispers, extending her hand to touch his little hand. Mason makes a low little sound, the first happy sound in a long time. Can I try to give him a bottle? Lauren asks. Dr. Reynolds hesitates. You can try, but carefully. Lauren picks up Mason in her arms from the wheelchair. He's lighter than she remembered, more fragile. When she offers the bottle, he looks at her before accepting. Slowly, my boy. No rush. Mason nurses little by little, stopping to look at Lauren's face, as if wanting to make sure she's real. Vincent watches from the door, moved. He was waiting for you. He's very thin. Lauren responds, worried. Dr. Reynolds writes everything down. I'll release you both tomorrow if you continue like this. When the doctor leaves, Vincent approaches. Lauren, I know I don't deserve it, but I need to ask for forgiveness. Vincent, not now. But I need to speak. You saved my son twice. I did it for Mason, not for you. I know, but I want you to know I learned my lesson. Lauren doesn't respond, continues humming softly to Mason. Lauren, Vincent insists. What? Will you come back home with us? I will, but only for him. She looks directly into Vincent's eyes. And don't expect me to trust you again. I don't expect that. I just want a chance to prove I've changed. Vincent, listen carefully to what I'm going to say. Lauren stops singing. If you humiliate me again, if you throw me on the street again, I'll disappear with this boy and you'll never see us again. Vincent swallows hard. I understand. I'll take care of Mason, but you'll have to earn my trust again. From zero. Okay. Lauren goes back to humming. Mason sleeps peacefully in her arms for the first time in weeks. Vincent sits in the chair beside them and watches the two. He knows he has a lot of work ahead. Reconquering Lauren's trust won't be easy, but at least Mason is alive. And that's already a beginning. Vincent takes Lauren and Mason home after a week in the hospital. The mansion seems different, emptier, with a strange silence. Mrs. Davis appears at the front door, emotional. "Girl, so good you came back. How are you?" "Better, Mrs. Davis." "Slowly, but improving." "And little Mason?" "Eating well, gaining weight again." Vincent carries Lauren's bags and stops in front of the back room where she used to stay. "Lauren, I prepared another room for you. The guest room with a private bathroom." "Why? What was wrong with the other one?" "Nothing. But this one is bigger. Has air conditioning." Lauren looks at him with a hard expression. "Vincent, I didn't come back here to be treated like a princess. I came back for Mason." "I know, but..." "No buts. I want things clear from the beginning." Vincent swallows his response and takes the things to the room she always occupied. In the first days, Lauren dedicates herself totally to Mason. The baby gradually improves, eats, smiles again, but is still fussy when she moves away. With Vincent, the conversation is minimal. "Good morning," she greets at breakfast. "Good morning. How was the night?" "Normal. Did Mason sleep well?" "Yes." Vincent tries to make more conversation, but Lauren always responds with one or two words. Mrs. Davis, who knows them both well, notices the tension. "Girl, Mr. Moretti is trying to be kind to you." "I know, Mrs. Davis, but he'll have to have a lot of patience. He made a big mistake, but at least he's trying to fix it." Trying is easy. Hard is trusting again. A week later, Vincent hires a private pediatrician to follow Mason at home. "Vincent, you don't need this," Lauren complains. "The public clinic doctor is taking good care, but with a private doctor it's more convenient." "More convenient for who?" "It was at the public clinic they saved me when you threw me on the street." Vincent has no response. He knows he deserves the indirect comment. That's when the first calls from the neighbors start arriving. "Vincent, it's Margaret. I heard that woman came back to your house." "She did, Margaret. But son, do you think this is prudent after everything that happened?" "Margaret, I found out she never did anything wrong, but how?" "Christina lied about everything. Lauren only saved my son." Silence on the other end of the line. "Well, if you're sure..." Vincent realizes he's going to face a lot of judgment from now on, but this time he won't give in to pressure. At night, when putting Mason to sleep, Lauren catches Vincent watching from the door. "What?" "Nothing, He looks so peaceful with you." "Vincent, we need to talk." "About what?" "About what you expect to happen here." Vincent sits in the room's armchair. "What do you mean?" "You brought me back because you found out Christina lied." "So what?" "What do you want from me?" "I want you to take care of Mason." "Just that?" "Yeah, I think so." Lauren stares at him. "Vincent, I'm not a toy you pick up and drop when you want. If you change your mind again, if someone comes to talk bad about me, I won't change my mind." "How can I be sure of that?" Vincent doesn't know what to answer. How to promise something after breaking her trust. "You can't be sure," he admits. "You can only hope I learn from the mistake." "Yeah, and hope I don't have to go through this again." The conversation ends there, but the message was given. 2 weeks later, the news that Lauren came back has already spread throughout the upscale neighborhood. The reactions are the most varied. On Wednesday, Vincent receives a visit he was already expecting. 3 neighbors appear at the door: Margaret, Teresa, and Carmen. "Vincent, we came to talk to you," Margaret announces. "I can imagine about what." They enter and settle in the living room, all with stern faces. "Vincent, we've been your friends for years," Teresa begins. "And as friends, we're worried." "Worried about what, Teresa?" "About this situation. You brought that woman back. That woman's name is Lauren, and she came back because my son needs her." Carmen interferes. "Vincent, don't you think you might be confusing gratitude with other things?" "What other things?" "Well, you're a widower recently." She's young. Vincent feels his blood rise. "Do you think I brought Lauren back for romantic interest?" "It wouldn't be strange," says Margaret. "Man alone, beautiful woman taking care of the house." "Listen well." Vincent stands up. "Lauren came back because I found out you made me believe a lie about her." The 3 look at each other uncomfortably. "What lie?" Teresa asks. "Christina made everything up. Lauren never took advantage of anything. She saved my son." "Vincent," Margaret tries to argue. "Even if she's innocent, people will talk." Let them talk. You can't ignore society's opinion. I can. I learned that your opinions almost killed my son. At that moment, Lauren comes down the stairs with Mason in her arms. The neighbors fall silent, observing. Mason is visibly healthier than before. Rosy cheeks smiling, kicking his little legs in her arms. Excuse me. Lauren passes through the living room, going to the kitchen, pretending not to see the visitors. Vincent, Margaret whispers when Lauren leaves. She seems different. Different how? More confident. Before she used to lower her head when passing by us. Because before you made her feel inferior. Teresa shakes her head. Vincent, you've changed a lot. I changed for the better. What if she manipulates you again? She never manipulated me. You manipulated me. The three leave the house visibly irritated. On the sidewalk, they whisper among themselves. He's completely blind. That woman got exactly what she wanted. Poor Elena. Must be suffering in heaven. But Vincent doesn't care anymore. For the first time since Elena died, he's doing what he thinks is right. That same day, he receives an unexpected call. Vincent, it's Marcus. Vincent takes a second to remember who Marcus is. Lauren's ex-husband. That's right, can I come there? Talk to you about what? About Lauren. I have some things to tell you about her. Vincent is suspicious. What kind of thing? In person is better. Can I go there today? No. If you want to talk to me, it's here by phone. Vincent, you don't know her past. The things she's already done. Marcus, whatever you want. I'm not interested. Man, she deceived you. Like she deceived me. Vincent hangs up the phone. Half an hour later, Marcus calls again. Vincent, listen to me for just 5 minutes. No, she lost our baby because she used drugs during pregnancy. Vincent freezes. What did you say? Drugs, man. That's why the baby died. She didn't tell you? You're lying. I have the medical exams, I can show you. Vincent hangs up but is disturbed. Could Lauren have hidden something about losing the baby? At night, when Mason is sleeping, he decides to ask, Lauren, can I ask you a question? What question? About your baby. How was it that... Vincent, why do you want to know that? Just curious. Lauren stares at him. Did someone tell you something? Vincent hesitates. Marcus called here today. And what did he say? That you used drugs during pregnancy. Lauren's face turns red with rage. And you believed him? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Vincent, my baby died because the doctor took 3 hours to do the C-section. It's in the medical report. So Marcus lied. Lied like he always did. Why would he lie? Because he found out I'm living in a mansion and wants to take advantage. Vincent feels like an idiot. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have believed. Vincent, if you're going to doubt me every time someone makes up a story, I won't. It was just a moment of, I don't know, weakness. Weakness. Lauren shakes her head, disappointed. Vincent, you need to decide. Either you trust me or you don't. There's no middle ground. I trust you. Then stop listening to gossip. Vincent promises. But Lauren notices he still has doubts. Trust will take longer to return than she imagined. 2 weeks after the episode with Marcus, Vincent makes a decision. He can't stand the gossip anymore, the judgmental looks, the insinuations. He sits at the computer and writes a long Facebook post. I want to tell a story about how prejudice almost killed my son. 3 months ago, I fired my employee, Lauren Hayes, for believing lies about her. Lauren had lost her own baby at birth and still produced breast milk. When my son Mason got sick and was alone, she breastfed him, saving his life. Some people told me she was taking advantage of the situation. I believed these people without questioning. I fired Lauren cruelly without a reference, knowing she had no family or money. Lauren spent weeks living on the street. She got sick, almost died of pneumonia. Meanwhile, my son was wasting away in the hospital, refusing food and losing weight dangerously. I found out later that nanny Christina Silva had made everything up out of jealousy and neglected Mason while selling his medicine. I ran after Lauren and found her sick under an overpass. In the hospital, as soon as she picked Mason up, he smiled again. Lauren Hayes is a hero. She lost her own son and saved mine. I almost killed my baby by listening to gossip. If you know Lauren, treat her with the respect she deserves. Vincent publishes the post at 9 a.m. In 2 hours, it has 500 shares. In 6 hours it passes 5,000. The comments explode. What an incredible woman. This is a mother's love. Vincent, you messed up bad, but at least you admitted it and fixed it. This Christina should be prosecuted. I want to meet this Lauren to give her a hug. But negative comments also appear. Vincent is being manipulated again. Rich man always falls for smart woman's talk. This story is too well told. I'm suspicious. A local TV channel calls Vincent. Mr. Moretti, would you be willing to give an interview about this story? Only if Lauren wants to participate. Vincent talks to Lauren. Want to speak on TV? Tell your side? For what? To show who you really are? Clean your image? Lauren thinks for a bit. Vincent, I don't need to prove anything to anyone, I know, but it could help other people in similar situations. Okay, but I speak for myself, not for you. In the interview, Lauren is simple and direct. I just did what anyone would do. I saw a child getting sick and helped. How was it being accused unjustly? Painful, especially because I really love taking care of that baby. And how was it living on the street? Difficult, very difficult. But I met incredible people who helped me. Did you forgive Mr. Moretti? Lauren looks at Vincent in the studio. Forgiving is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Do you plan to get married? No. Lauren responds firmly. Vincent and I don't have that kind of relationship. Vincent is a bit embarrassed by her direct response. The program resonates a lot on social media. Lauren receives dozens of job offers, interview invitations, even book proposals. But she refuses everything. My place is taking care of Mason. Christina watches the program from home and is desperate. She tries to defend herself on Facebook. I was protecting the family. I thought she was dangerous. But the comments are devastating. You almost killed a baby. Liar. I hope you never get work again. Christina deletes her social media profile. No family in the upscale neighborhood hires her anymore. She only gets jobs as a day worker in simple houses. The gossiping neighbors also look bad. Margaret becomes a joke on the condo's WhatsApp. The prejudiced neighbor who almost killed a baby. But not all the neighborhood changes its opinion. Some people still think Vincent is being deceived. That woman is very smart. She got exactly what she wanted. Poor Vincent. First, he lost his wife, now he'll lose his fortune. Vincent realizes there will always be people against him, but he doesn't care anymore. 6 months after the TV interview, life at the mansion found a different rhythm. Mason, now a year and 2 months old, is a completely different baby. Healthy, smart, affectionate. He calls Lauren mommy and Vincent daddy without confusion. Vincent changed his routine. Arrives earlier from work, helps bathe Mason, reads stories before bed. Lauren, let me put him to sleep today. Do you know how to tell stories? I'm learning. Lauren gradually gives in space. She sees that Vincent really wants to be a present father, but the relationship between them is still complicated. Vincent, I need to talk to you. What is it? I want to officially adopt Mason. Vincent is surprised. Adopt? Yeah. I want to be his mother legally. Lauren, you're already his mother, everyone sees that. But not on paper. If something happens to you, if you change your mind again, I could lose him. Vincent understands her insecurity. Okay, let's see how to do this. The adoption process is more complicated than they expected. The social worker asks several questions. What exactly is the relationship between you two? She takes care of my son. Vincent responds. Are you dating? Married? No. Lauren is emphatic. We're partners in raising Mason. And if Mr. Moretti marries someone else? Lauren continues being Mason's mother. Vincent responds without hesitating. The social worker writes everything down, but seems confused by the situation. After 3 months of paperwork and visits, the adoption is approved. At the hearing, the judge asks, Miss Hayes, are you sure you want this responsibility? I am, Your Honor. This boy is my life. And you, Mr. Moretti, do you agree to share custody? I do. Lauren is the mother Mason always needed. When they leave the courthouse with the papers, Lauren cries with emotion. Now you're my son for real, Mason. On paper and in my heart. Vincent also gets emotional. Now you're officially family. We 3 are family, Lauren corrects, including Vincent for the first time. 3 months later, on a Sunday morning, Vincent wakes up to noise in the next room. "Mommy, ball," he hears Mason say. Vincent goes there and finds Lauren on the floor playing with Mason, who now walks and speaks several words. "Daddy." Mason sees Vincent and runs to him. "Hi, champ." Vincent picks up his son. Mason gives him a little kiss and runs back to Lauren. "Mommy, Daddy here. My son. Daddy and Mommy are here." Vincent sits on the floor with them. "It's good to wake up like this." "Yeah," Lauren agrees, but still keeps a certain distance. Lauren, "Are you happy here, really?" Lauren looks at Mason playing between them. "I'm happy with him. Very happy. And with me? How do you feel about me?" Lauren takes a while to respond. "Vincent, you became a better person, more present, more human. Does that mean you forgave me?" "It means I'm trying. Forgiving isn't easy. And do you think one day we could be, I don't know, more than partners in raising Mason?" Lauren stops playing and looks at him. "Vincent, let's go slowly, okay? We already have a good family the way it is." "Okay." Slowly. Mason jumps into Lauren's lap. "Mommy, hungry. Let's have breakfast. Let's go." Vincent stands up and extends his hand to help Lauren. For the first time in a long time, she accepts his hand. In the kitchen while preparing breakfast together, they seem like a normal family. Not perfect, not without scars, but real. "Vincent." "What?" "Thank you for letting me be his mother. Thank you for teaching me to be a father." Mason bangs the spoon on the high chair. "Daddy, Mommy, my son." Lauren smiles. "You're a crazy family." Vincent laughs. "Crazy family, but family." Outside, Christina passes by on the bus going to her day work. She looks at the mansion and sees through the window the kitchen scene. Vincent, Lauren, and Mason having breakfast together. She shakes her head and continues the trip. She lost everything because of jealousy and lies. Marcus tried a few more times to call Vincent, always with new stories about Lauren. Vincent never answered again. The gossiping neighbors learned not to meddle in other people's lives, at least not so openly. Inside the mansion, there's an imperfect peace, a family that formed through pain, mistake, and forgiveness. Mason grows surrounded by love. Vincent learned to be the father he should always have been. And Lauren found a happiness she thought she'd lost forever. It's not a fairy tale ending. There are still scars, distrusts, fears, but it's a human, real ending. And sometimes that's better than perfection.